The global aviation industry was rocked to its core when China abruptly severed its $140 billion relationship with Boeing, sending shockwaves through boardrooms and airports worldwide. The move was sudden, but its roots run deep, reflecting years of mounting tension and strategic recalibration. China canceled or indefinitely deferred massive aircraft orders, leaving production lines eerily quiet and executives scrambling to respond to the new reality. For decades, Boeing jets in Chinese airline colors were a familiar sight, symbolizing not just business, but a spirit of global cooperation and mutual benefit between East and West. Now, that era is over. The sight of decommissioned Boeing planes being towed away marks the end of a chapter in aviation history. This isn't just about business. It's the culmination of years of rising geopolitical tension, trade disputes, and China's determined push for technological independence from Western suppliers. The move wipes out a quarter of Boeing's production pipeline almost overnight, forcing the American aerospace giant to urgently rethink its global strategy and future prospects. Boeing now faces a glut of unsold jets with billions of dollars in inventory piling up, while European rival Airbus stands to gain a major foothold in the world's fastest-growing aviation market. Chinese airlines must now pivot to Airbus, negotiating new deals and rapidly integrating unfamiliar aircraft into their fleets. Or, they must accelerate the adoption of homegrown aircraft like the COMAC C919, facing new operational challenges and the pressure to prove their reliability on the world stage. The void left by these cancelled orders marks a dramatic shift from decades of economic partnership to a new era of rivalry, uncertainty, and growing distrust between two global superpowers. This is the new reality of global commerce in 2025, a world where alliances shift, industries adapt, and the future of flight is being rewritten before our eyes. The catalyst for this rupture? The escalating US-China trade war. In April 2025, the US hiked tariffs on Chinese goods to 145%. China hit back with a 125% tariff on American products, including Boeing jets. This instantly doubled the price of a Boeing for Chinese airlines, making them uncompetitive against Airbus. Chinese carriers had no choice but to halt Boeing orders, turning strategic assets into financial liabilities overnight. The trade war made aviation a front line in geopolitical conflict, with aircraft orders now tools of economic pressure. Boeing's CEO admitted the company would stop building planes for Chinese customers who wouldn't take delivery. Dozens of brand new jets, painted for Chinese airlines, now sit idle, grounded by politics, not technology. The trade war didn't just disrupt business, it grounded an entire fleet before it ever took flight. The trade war was the final blow, but the story of Boeing's unraveling in China is far more complex and began long before tariffs and political tensions dominated the headlines. For years, Boeing had been a symbol of American engineering and a trusted partner for Chinese airlines, but cracks in that relationship started to show with the 737 MAX crisis. The grounding of the 737 MAX wasn't just a technical setback, it was a turning point that exposed vulnerabilities in Boeing's global reputation, especially in China, where trust is paramount. After two deadly crashes, China acted swiftly, becoming the first country to ground the MAX in 2019. This bold move signaled a new era of assertiveness in Chinese aviation safety, as regulators prioritized passenger welfare over international pressure. While the US and Europe recertified the MAX in 2020, China maintained its ban for nearly 3 more years, deepening a sense of mistrust and highlighting a growing divide in global aviation standards. This nearly 4-year hiatus left Chinese airlines scrambling for alternatives, disrupting flight schedules and forcing a re-evaluation of their dependence on Boeing aircraft. The uncertainty seeded skepticism about Boeing's reliability and long-term viability as a supplier. The MAX crisis exposed the risks of relying on a single foreign supplier, especially one from a strategic rival. It also gave Chinese manufacturers like COMAC a rare opportunity to step into the spotlight and accelerate their own ambitions. When tariffs hit, China's decision to pivot away from Boeing was not just about economics. It was built on years of safety concerns, eroded trust, and a desire for greater self-reliance in a tense geopolitical climate. The economic justification for cutting ties with Boeing was new, but the political and psychological rift had been growing for years, making the split feel almost inevitable. In the end, the MAX saga made it easier for China to walk away. The fallout was not just a business decision, it was the result of years of mounting doubts, shifting power dynamics, and a lingering shadow that Boeing may never fully escape. When China rejected dozens of Boeing jets, the company faced a major challenge. These aircraft, worth billions, were suddenly left without a destination, and Boeing had to act quickly to avoid massive losses and logistical headaches. Letting these high-value planes sit idle wasn't an option. Every day on the ground meant lost revenue and mounting storage costs, so Boeing launched an aggressive global sales push to find new buyers for these so-called whitetails, jets built for one customer, but never delivered. Despite losing access to the massive Chinese market, global demand for fuel-efficient jets remains strong. Airlines around the world are rebuilding their fleets and expanding routes as travel rebounds after the pandemic, creating new opportunities for Boeing to place these aircraft. Boeing's CEO has expressed confidence in redirecting the 50 planes China rejected in 2025, focusing on buyers in Southeast Asia, the Middle East, and Europe, regions where air travel is growing rapidly, and airlines are eager for modern, efficient jets. Each aircraft must be carefully customized for its new owner, from reconfiguring the cabin layout to installing new entertainment systems and applying the airline's unique livery. This process ensures the jets meet the specific needs and branding of their new operators. Every successful sale not only recovers lost revenue but also helps stabilize Boeing's production lines, keeping skilled workers employed and the company's supply chain moving. New orders from international carriers are helping fill the gap left by China, even if these deals are sometimes smaller or more complex than the original contracts. The entire process highlights Boeing's resilience and the adaptability of the global aviation market, as both manufacturers and airlines adjust to shifting geopolitical and economic realities. Jets once destined for China are now finding new homes across the world, opening up new routes, serving new passengers, and proving that in aviation, every setback can lead to new horizons. One of Boeing's biggest wins came from an unexpected place, Cambodia. In August 2025, Air Cambodia Company announced plans to buy up to 20 Boeing 737 MAX 8 jets, doubling its fleet. The deal followed a new US-Cambodia trade agreement, with both sides lowering tariffs. Cambodian officials linked the Boeing order directly to improved economic ties with Washington. For Cambodia, the new jets mean expanded routes and modernized operations. For the US, it's a diplomatic win, using trade incentives to secure major contracts in China's backyard. The deal marks Boeing's return to Cambodia's national carrier for the first time since the 1990s. It's a leap forward for Cambodia's aviation sector and a strategic move in regional politics. The Cambodia-Boeing deal was a blow to China's own aircraft ambitions. China's state-owned COMAC had hoped to sell its C919 jet to Air Cambodia, but lost out to Boeing. Securing an international customer would have validated COMAC's global aspirations. Despite political backing, COMAC struggles to match Boeing's reputation and support network. The loss highlights the challenges China faces in breaking the Boeing-Airbus duopoly. Building a plane isn't enough. Global airlines want trust, reliability, and proven performance. While COMAC may dominate at home, its international ambitions have taken a hit. Ironically, the same trade policies that pushed Boeing out of China helped it win in Southeast Asia. The saga of China's canceled Boeing orders and Cambodia's purchase shows how aircraft have become pawns in global politics. These deals are now tools of statecraft, with the US using trade incentives to reward allies and counter China's rise. The Cambodian deal mirrors other recent contracts tied to diplomatic and security interests. For China, canceling Boeing orders is a statement of economic sovereignty and a push for technological independence. The trade war has forced China to turn inward, accelerating its own aerospace ambitions. Global supply chains are being rewired into rival blocks, with companies like Boeing and COMAC caught in the crossfire. The fate of $140 billion in aircraft is now decided by tariffs, treaties, and national interests, not just business. In this new era, jets are more than machines, they're instruments of power.